So going into the discussion time and kicking us off. So the three kind of use cases that we looked at the time when this was happening were, firstly, the concept of a blockchain registry to help with authenticity and making sure that transactions were smoother and information could be shared more. The second was around digital art. And again, this was pre-NFT terminology when it was just potentially art on the blockchain. And then the last use case was about tokenization and looking at different ways in which the finance industry was getting into the art market. So starting off with the registry side of things, I think maybe this is one for Elliot and Anne at the time, but maybe all of you will have answers, is why do you think this was an important one, and why would we have programmed it as kind of the first discussion that we did on the day?
Can I instantly jump in? This is my favorite. So it made sense as an auction house to naturally start with this solution because it provides the most opportunity for seamless simplification across the secondary market and the primary market that often share the same clients, the same artwork, et cetera. And actually, and I still think that this is actually, in my personal mind, the best, most exciting potential for the industry globally. But so I think this is, before we even start that, it's worth noting that it's that an NFT, of course, not only can be a digital image that's, traded on a blockchain, but it can represent any digital asset, right? And I think a key takeaway, I hope that you all walk away with, if you learn one thing, it's that the main potential of blockchain, I think, relates to the fact that that NFT can be anything, including a piece of physical art, right? So creating a digital registry that was the foundation, say, for the art world, would create one digital place to consolidate and track all provenance and value transparently, industry-wide. It would create a digital supply chain, all while maintaining personal and institutional privacy, right, which currently doesn't exist. It could, taking it a step further, you could create an organic collection management system. You could create proofs of editions, because each piece in the edition would have a digital ID. And it would provide, it would open up the industry to engage so many more buyers and just make everything that happened within the industry so much more efficient and transparent. So I think that it's still to consider blockchain as a platform that could become ubiquitous to all transactions on the art market. I'll stop there and let Elliot take over.
No, you don't have to improve on perfection. I agree with everything she said.
Yeah, I guess one interesting point to think about there is how the three companies that were on the panel kind of evolved as a result. So you had Artery at the time, Codex Protocol, and Paddle 8 that was collaborating with Verisart on some business propositions. So if we look at that landscape now and the companies that are looking at registry as a potential use case, clearly Artery is still around, they're still doing things. They did that big sale right afterwards that was registered on the blockchain. What do we see in terms of potential in this space?
Maybe I'll jump in here. The sale that was done afterwards was one of the biggest evening sales of that year for Christie's. And the idea was that every piece that was purchased was registered on the Artery blockchain. And so along with the physical artwork that they were getting, they received, I don't know if it was a certificate or a link of where that piece was registered on the Artery blockchain. The problem is that if those collectors then resell or transact those paintings and don't register those transactions on the blockchain, then that becomes that kind of defeats the purpose. The whole premise of our Art and Tech Summit, the whole subtitle was, "Is the art world ready for consensus?" And so the Christie's auction that followed almost served as the first step to that process. But I'm afraid that as far as we've seen, we haven't seen much follow-up with the players after that, for numerous reasons. But ever the optimists. I think with time, things will things will evolve. And I think more and more